they observe what you say. It's not necessarily what you do, and your actions do speak louder than words. So today, we will share a bit of both me and Eleanor, who we are, and why it might make sense to learn from us. We are not calling ourselves the experts in everything, but we have successfully applied the profiling methods. We have applied a lot of these principles in the real world. We are not theoretical people. We both, Eleanor and I, we enjoy seeing results. We enjoy seeing people transform and succeeding in their lives. And we want to share this without holding back with you all, and not just on ourselves that we have experimented. Both Eleanor and I are each other's guinea pigs. And to be honest, a lot of my coaches are also my guinea pigs. And from my experiences in my past, my interns, my colleagues, even my superiors, they have all been my guinea pigs. So you are getting real world research from what I and Eleanor have done to the various people and what we have tried, tested, and still keep on improving. So for me, just a little bit about my background. I started my career as a biologist for the first 10 years of my life. After that, I left it. Then I proceeded to work in various areas, be it from business development, industry collaborations. I was in Singapore's Prime Minister's office under the HR division, working as a corporate strategist, serving the C-suite. So that's what we do. I do a lot of HR. I do a lot of strategy meetings, a lot of planning, a lot of thinking ahead. But I also have ADHD. I also coach young people a lot. I am a business therapist because that's where my heart is. I don't deal with the hard aspects of business, like how do you use an accounting software? How are you supposed to structure, let's say, the mechanics of your business? I'm considered a business therapist. I work with the business owner for them to have a breakthrough, to work through self-sabotage patterns that literally translates into bottom line increase. Like quite a lot of my coaches have turned from zero profit or even some negative after they've worked on themselves with my help. They have managed to turn their business around to the point where they're so busy and they have another set of problems, the problems of the successful. So this is just a bit of what I've shared so far. And then I will hand over to Eleanor to share a bit more about herself.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Okay, my name is Eleanor, and as of what Cheyenne has said, I am her partner in crime. My journey with modalities is only very recent, at the very most 1.5 years. But what has catapulted my own personal growth, as well as the work that I have done with my clients, is really understanding myself from God's perspective, using the modalities system that Pastor Jerry came up, and what I've learned from both him, Pastor Lian, and Cheyenne. And so really for me to show you the pictures of me in 2020 to now, physically, definitely you would see the difference. Spiritually, I can say that I am in a much better place, with that great confidence that I have now built in myself. I see that unfolding in the lives, the transformation of the ones that I serve in my work as a health and fitness coach. So given my background as a nurse and the fact that I have a keen interest in working with people who are grappling with chronic diseases, and that's my specialty as a personal trainer, modalities has given me a fresh breath of life. And so I feel that with this experience that I have gained, especially in both my personal journey as well as the journey that I go through with my clients, it would be remiss not to share the powerful potential of modalities to transform the work that we do to advance God's kingdom in the secular world. And this is my biggest message to all of us here, because what we learn, what we gain from God must be applicable, must be relevant, must be powerful to transform the lives of the ones that we serve, not necessarily through evangelism, but really from the personal touch that you have with each and every person that you meet and encounter. It must mean something. And so today's session, and in fact for the entire course, is really us sharing our own experiences, our insights that we have gleaned in our journey of applying these principles from the perspective of modalities that will enhance not just your own life, the work that you do, and more importantly, help you to make sense of the current world that we live in, because clearly the world that we're living in is increasingly darker, grimmer, and the light must come from the church. And how do we shine our lights? The light is us. And so that is the start of our journey today. All right, on to you, Cheyenne.
Okay, so today, let's just jump straight to it. We will learn about self-leadership, the first portion, why I call it the first 10%. And second, I will share with you a framework that I've worked with my coaches. Maybe it's interesting to some of you. Maybe it is new for some of you. Maybe for some of you, you're like, Cheyenne, I've seen this 100 times in my life. There's nothing new. But I ask you journey with us. I ask that you also share openly, generously with everyone that you will later be with in the discussion rooms, and learn and be curious. So the first 10%, why is it the first 10%? Does it even matter? We've heard about leadership. Leadership is an industry that, be it for training, be it for books, it is a multi-million, maybe even multi-billion industry. And there are people ranging from John Maxwell to, I don't know, some people consider Tony Robbins a leadership trainer. I shall not say further, but you may think to yourself, why? Why does self-leadership matter? And why, Cheyenne, do you call it the first 10%? Let me share with you this amusing map. Let's say you are walking like this person on the map. Let's just say that you have started in a country and you want to walk to the next country in this angle, but you have changed 10 degrees. You have decided, oh, something's interesting. Let's go 10 degrees. And you think that, this 10 degrees in math, 10 degrees, nothing big. But as you walk, you will realize for this poor man, that 10 degrees in trajectory will actually mean the difference between ending up on the sea or maybe half drowning on his way because he got the wrong 10 degrees, or he could actually successfully reach his destination. And for those who enjoy space science and all this, if you are even off by 1 degree in calculation, let's say you were aiming to go for Mars. Let's not talk about the moon. Let's talk about Mars. 1 degree off. By the time the planets will have moved and shifted, that 1 degree off might literally cause you to miss Mars, its orbit, and I have no idea where you'll end up with. So this is why the start is very important. I myself, I had a coach, and he used to tell us, everything that you do not settle in the beginning, you pay multifold every step of the way later in the path. Maybe an example, like if you have a pet, if you don't change your pet's bad behavior, let's say you have a puppy that will grow up to be a super big dog, and that puppy loves to pounce on you. You're okay with your puppy pouncing on you, so cute. But when your puppy is around 70 kilograms and is going to pounce on you, it is no longer fun. And that puppy might accidentally injure a kid or someone shorter. So, and then can you imagine like the medical bills, you need to put a muzzle on it, or even like Singapore, if your pet is deemed to be dangerous, you might be required to put your pet to sleep permanently. Okay, so everything that you do not do in the beginning, you pay for it multifold every single step of the way. So this is why self-leadership is important, because you need to deal with yourself first. These are two quotes. John Wooden, before you can lead others, you must be able to lead yourself. And John Maxwell, both Johns, but to lead yourself, use your head. And we are using our head today, even with the things that I'll be sharing and teaching you all. With others, use your heart. Because even in psychology, we say that we tend to judge ourselves based on our intentions, but we judge others based on their actions. Yeah. So always ask for a person's heart before you ask them for a hand. Likewise, you may say that, hey, Shine, I'm not a leader, but are there people around you whom you can influence? Are there even young people maybe around you who are actually observing everything you say and do, even though you may not be directly influencing their lives? You would never know who is actually reading your life like an open book. So this is the key of self-leadership, and I will jump straight into it. Firstly, knowing who you are. Next, what you want. And third, which is the hardest question for almost all of us, why do you want it? Because I work with young people, so let me just use one of my young person as an example. They don't know who they are. Sure, I can work with them. What do they want? A lot of them tell me, oh, I want a university degree. I want like my own stash of money and all this. But when I ask my young people, teenagers, most of them are around 16 to 23 years old. I ask them, why? Okay, not just one. A lot of my young people actually have a fund that encourages them. A lot of my young people are also entrepreneurs. They have a fund set aside in their little piggy or in their little jar that is called, pardon my language, screw you money. Okay, so why? I asked them, why do you have a jar of screw you money? And a lot of them open up and they share that, let's say, certain circumstances were not very good in their life. Therefore, they are making the effort to have that fund so that they have the power to say stuff you to anyone that they can, that kind of like infringes on their life, their rights, and they have the power to walk away from that bad situation. So this is just a story where all these things fit into the self-leadership. So now I really want to let all of you think about this for a while. Knowing who you are. Do you really know who you are? Next, what do you want? It can be ranging from the material to ambitious goals to even simple things like, I want a healthy body. Why? Honestly, why do you want it? Maybe this is more of a problem for Singapore. A lot of people say, I want car, I want the most attractive house, I want a very good looking spouse, especially for a good looking spouse. I'll ask them, oh, so why do you want a good looking spouse? Well, usually the reply is not because they like the person, but they say it makes me feel good and proud to have someone good looking on my arm. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want, cheers to you. But do realize that you might not actually want what you asked for, and it might not actually give you happiness. So these are the 3 questions which I would say is important for you to ask yourself on a frequent basis. Then this is a 4-part series where we actually explore and we assist and we walk together on this journey to explore who you are, because there are so many tools outside, but let's journey this together. And it is a mini appetizer or maybe a mini dessert where we'll talk about your core values. This is what we will be exploring today. Archetypes will be for session 2, where we will go into modalities, as some of you know it, or in the other version, we just call it archetypes. We will share in greater detail, like, be it the combinations, what you have learned, trauma response, emotional response, and even experiences and how they shape us, be it holistically, physically, mentally, emotionally. And even these experiences, for the 4th session, we will also share our experiences with the different archetypes, like working with them as a team, 360 degrees, working and, like, what are some of the blind spots working with some of these archetypes and all this. So next, for self-leadership, I will share with you this framework that I actually work with, not just young people, but business owners. Triangulation, I call it, for clarity. When you actually need to make big decisions, and sometimes you're not sure how or why. So this is a triangle where this can help you make decisions and help you with the self-leadership. Not just knowing who you are, not just understanding what you want, and not just understanding why you want these, but you also need to consider the situation. So this is triangle. Today, we will go through core values, and let's work through, because sometimes even after a major life change event, like for some people, maybe they got married, maybe like my young person, she had her loved one pass away. So she needed to work on her core values because she realized that what was important to her previously is no longer so important. Then the next part of this triangle, let's talk about the emotional, relational, and the logical, practical. For most of us, we would hope that we are actually, a lot of us think that we are actually very logical. But a lot of studies have shown that we are not the most logical people. And most of us actually make an emotional decision. Then we come up with the logical explanation. Let's just say housework. Let's say I do not like to do a certain kind of housework. I will, because I resent doing that housework, I will make a logical excuse to say that, oh, I am not feeling well today. I am busy. So therefore, I do not need to mop the floor. Okay, so likewise, sometimes it's to help ourselves to be more objective. The EQ, when you look, it's like this emotional quotient. You understand certain things about yourself, be it self-awareness, be it understanding what matters to you. For us, a lot of us, the spiritual also matters a lot. Let's say you have a major life decision, you are deciding whether to leave a job that you've always had, but you truly, truly do not like it, or maybe even the environment's toxic. But if you spiritually feel that you still have something to contribute, maybe this can override. But this is not the only factor. Relational. It's really the people around you, not just that, what influence you have over their lives and what influence their lives have on you. If you are able to effect change, like let's say you're working with young people, let's say you are working with the elderly, the sick, the dying, maybe it can steer your decision in a certain way, but this is only one part of the triangle. Or even societal, what is expected of you? So most of us here are actually Asians. And actually, as Asians, we have expectations. I think almost every one of us can identify with the typical Asian parent where, firstly, we're not good enough. Next, our studies are not good enough. Third, our jobs are not good enough. Fourth, we are not earning well enough. So societal expectations is understanding what society expects of you might not really correlate with the rest of your character, be it your core values, your reputation. Maybe spiritually you have a mission. Maybe relationally there are people you have to reach out to. All these you take in consideration. Then lastly, I would say a lot within the faith community probably have this part of the triangle missing, which is the logical and practical. I'm not sure about other countries, but I have seen groups where they say that, oh, I believe things will happen and I don't need to worry about it. Not necessarily within the Christian community. I have met people from other faith communities where they say, oh, I don't need to worry about money. Somehow it will appear. How is your somehow? Like, is it going for lottery and all this? They say, oh, it will just somehow happen. So I would advise everyone for self-leadership, let's be pragmatic. Let's say you have a family to take care of. Please be realistic and reasonable. If it is a job you really hate, stick on to it because you're responsible for not just your own life. Okay? And let's be factual. Like, let's say the job's paying you not too bad, but you say, I have met people, they say, oh my God, Cheyenne, I am so brilliant, I should be paid more. And I say, you are pretty much getting the industry average. Like why should people pay you 50% more? They say, oh, because I'm worth it. Not based on facts, not based on ability, just based on feelings. That's when they only have one part of the triangle. The other two parts, in my mind, it has totally collapsed. But this is where I would say, as responsible leaders and for self-leadership, please be factual and be strategic. Let's say you really need to leave your job. Let's say you are pursuing a dream. Be strategic about it. It doesn't mean you go to your boss and throw a letter and say, hey, you are a terrible person. Bye-bye. I'm never going to see you again. Well, strategic also means if you understand that your boss or your company is pretty powerful in the industry, you do not burn bridges that way. Just smile, be strategic, work your way out. Not immediately, but this should be able to relieve the mental and emotional pressure for you to be able to take logical, practical steps that is in line with your character, your core values, and to build your reputation. So why do I put reputation as part of the character thing? Let me honestly ask you a question. Are you going to ask a smoker how to quit smoking if that person has not quit smoking ever? I don't know. How many of you would ask that person for advice? Like, you can just raise your hands. I wouldn't. The person has zero credibility, at least in the area of quitting smoking. But I would go to someone who has successfully quit and maybe, as an example, stayed off it for the past decade. So that's why reputation is important. None of us actually want to work closely with a hypocrite, if I am to be honest. So that's why our character is important, because we need to be, when we know who we really are and we live according to our core values, not only will we have conviction, we will have the courage to stand up for our conviction, and we will be congruent. Congruent means that what you believe inside and what you do outside are the same. Like, let's say I believe that young people are our future. I spend a lot of time with young people, so I'm congruent. Inside, outside, the same. But there are, I'm sure, all of you have met a lot of people. They say that, oh, yes, I believe that, let's say we should be supporting ABC. But how they live their lives is very different. Okay, so one example is a lot in my generation. They say that, yes, we should save the earth. We should, be more sustainable. We should reduce, recycle. What do I see with their lives? Tons of plastic bags. They don't even take out recyclable cutlery. And then you tell me that climate change, ocean pollution, it's really important. I should like give my energy to volunteer to save the earth and planet, and I should go kayak with you and pick up rubbish from the river, but something's not linked. So these are the things that, because I work with young people, they are a bit what we call hashtag unfiltered. So they will say, it's like, what's wrong with these people? They say that they want to save the earth. Look at the amount of plastics that they're generating. Look at the amount of rubbish and the amount of fast fashion things that they are purchasing. So to the young people, hey, my generation, there's a whole bunch of hypocrites, at least in the area of climate change and global warming. So that's why I say that knowing your core values is very important, because people are observing, especially the people around you, they're observing the little things you say and do. And it's okay to be a work in progress, you know. We are pursuing excellence, not perfection. No one will be perfect on earth, but at least we work towards it. So actually now I would need help to, maybe we will break up in maybe 2 discussion groups where we will discuss on core values. So let me briefly share the core values. So when we go into a discussion room, these are the questions that we can think and have a discussion on. If you're having difficulties finding your core values, you can ask yourself these questions. This is a list of core values. It is not exhaustive. We will find that we resonate with different things. So this is just as a reference later. And then lastly, you know, these are the questions that you can ask yourself. And when we come back to the main room, I would like at least, you know, some of you to share what has been helpful, what worked, what, you know, what have you learned about yourself and all this.
How long are we going to spend in the breakout room?
15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Pastor Gerard, like, how would you want to split the people?
Randomly, is it okay?
Sure.
Okay, good. Which is not random, right? So.
Yeah. So Eleanor and I maybe can be in separate rooms, and yeah.
Okay, you then in that case, you can choose whatever room. Maybe I will assign it automatically and then see how.
Sure.
Are we able to see the discussion topics for reference when we are in the breakout room?
Good point.
Yeah. So I can put it in the chat. The chat's available for everyone to access.
Okay, good. All right, so I'll give a countdown and then we will see what happens when I press the button. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Pastor Jerry, I think a lot of them are in room 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me send the file to the chat.
Yeah. Okay, good.
do you want to
Yeah, I saw
manually
that.
you want to manually split some of them to yeah, another room?
Wait now. Suddenly, hold on, participants. Oops, I don't know how to do that.
Okay, so let's close all rooms and let me try. Okay.
Okay, then I will give you host then. Hold on.
Okay.
I give you host first. Okay, you're the host. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, sorry guys. We have to redo that again because everybody was in one room. Okay, we try again. Cheyenne, you're the host now, so maybe you can do this. Apologies.
Okay. Yeah. Give me some time. Eleanor, Pastor Gerard, please entertain while I do the text stuff.
Okay. All right. So anybody here have any questions that you want to ask before we go into the room? Did you all see the questions? Did you see the questions already? You can click to download it. It's BLTROL on the right here. So
Can't see my chat. Some chats you can't see. Yeah.
okay, just take note of them. There's a couple of questions. Number one, reflect.
Mm.
Ask yourself, what do I value most in life? If you can't think of any others, this is perhaps the most important one. What do I value most in life? Number two, openness. Ask yourself, when do I feel most like myself? Okay, and then number three, respect. Think about whom you admire or respect the most. Think about why you look up to them. And then number four, excitement. Think about what most inspires you to take action. Okay, you can take a screenshot of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try again.
Okay.
So oh, I'm not assigned to a room. Ha ha. Let me assign myself.
I think the host cannot assign. So maybe you have to pass the host to me and then
Yes.
I
Let
will
me
stay
pass the
outside
host.
you. Okay, yeah. Okay, got it. So 15 minutes and I'll 20 minutes. Okay, I'll assign you to what room? Room 1 or 2?
Room 1, because my presentation.
Okay. There she goes. Oh, correct. Elena's in the other one. Okay, perfect. Oh, first time I'm doing this.
That's fine. Okay, I'm doing that. I didn't know she asked me to do that. Let's see. Do you give a time limit?
15 minutes, yeah. No, the two hosts are there, so they know what to do.
There's a time limit. Show you how to do it. Let's just break up one lesson. We're still live on Wednesday. Can you stop that? Awesome. And more.
Yeah, I'm done.
YouTube still live.